Welcome to Stronger Together, Voices United. I'm Dara Starr Tucker of Radio Free 102.3 FM KJLH. Today we are talking about something most Americans rarely see, the inside of immigration detention centers. These are places where mothers, fathers, and young people are held for months or even years, often under conditions that strip away their dignity. This has gone beyond an immigration issue to now becoming a human rights crisis. To help us understand what's really happening beyond those walls and how it impacts families right here in Los Angeles, I'm joined by Yessenia Cruz and Jessica Martinez, both with the Council of Mexican Federations in North America. The Council of Mexican Federations in North America, or COFEM, empowers Mexican immigrants through advocacy, education, civic engagement, and leadership development to strengthen communities across the U.S. and Mexico. Yessenia Cruz is the communications coordinator for COFEM, and Jessica Martinez is the director of programs and development. Together, we're going to shine a light on what too often stays in the shadows and talk about what needs to change. So I want to ask you both, in terms of the ICE detentions, when these folks are being snatched up and removed, some folks would say kidnapped from their family structures. We hear these stories from a bird's eye view. We hear the news stories and it all feels very impersonal at times. Can you tell us what the real toll is on families? What happens to these families emotionally and financially when their family members are removed? What's the impact of that for most families?
It's a very heavy toll emotionally and financially. Most of these people taken, I would say, are kidnapped. They are walking down the streets in front of their houses, in front of their businesses. They're walking their kids to school, coming out of a courthouse. So they very much are kidnapped. And all of a sudden, a family is left without the breadwinner, the primary breadwinner of their family. They've been here for 26 years, back to a home country that they don't know anymore. Everything changes in decades. Mm-hmm. So now not only are they put in a position where they need to learn again how to live without their family, but their family needs to learn how to live without them. Wow. Because this is months of their life, not just days. Mm-hmm. They're not gone a couple of days, they're gone months.
Mm-hmm. Yessenia, can you talk to me about any personal stories that you know about of people that have been detained and what their experiences have been?
Yeah, so COFEM is an umbrella organization. We have actually 11 federations, and one of those federations is the Federación Hidalguense, or a hometown association called Hidalguense. So the vice president, David Serrano, back in January 2007 of this year, January 27 of this year, David Serrano was walking outside of his house. And then he gets kidnapped. He gets approached by two ICE agents that did not have a uniform, that were wearing plain clothes, and tell him, "Can you show us your ID?" And then he pulls out his wallet, and then he takes out his ID, and then they tell him, "Can you follow us to the car?" He follows them because he wants to do everything right. He doesn't want to scare them. He doesn't want to. He's not running, he's not moving away from them, but he gives them his ID, and then they go to a car. And then after they go to that car, two more cars pull up, and then they detain him. Mm-hmm. And then since January 27, he's been at the Adelanto Detention Center. It's been 9 months. Mm-hmm. But what's interesting about this case is that one day, about a month ago, he calls our executive director, Francisco Moreno, because they're good friends. And in a 5-minute conversation or a 5-minute phone call, he tells him a little bit about what's happening inside. And he tells him, we are in survival mode. The food that we have is just to survive. The things that we do here is just to survive. We have one bedroom that is assigned to us with a number, and that's it. That's all we have. And then because he's been here for many years, he knows a little bit about the system here in the United States. And he says there's a lot of people that are getting detained. They don't know their rights. They don't know they have the right to bail. They don't know that they can fight their case here in the United States, and they can request to see a judge before getting deported and fight for the case. And he says, I have a few numbers that I want to give it to you, because they don't have someone to fight for them. They don't have someone to represent them, nor even their consulates from their home country. So my executive director gets the name, the date of birth of 8 people from different nationalities. There were Guatemalans, Salvadorians, one from Peru, I believe, one from China, and if I remember correctly, there was someone from Brazil. And he's like, I need your support. You as with COFEM, representing COFEM, and that you that work and are in partnership with the LA Rapid Response Network, is there a way you can support them, or just reach out to their consulates and tell them to support their connationals? And then that's what we did. We referred them out to the Rapid Response Network, where they sent someone, an attorney, they sent representation, or even they sent elected officials to go visit these detention centers. But we have heard that it's very difficult to go inside a detention center, especially when the massive raids were happening back 3 months ago. It was very difficult, even for elected officials, to go inside. They weren't given permission to go inside. I think in one of the visits, Senator Judy Chu was trying to get inside of one of the detentions, and she was denied access. And this is what is happening too with attorneys, with legal attorneys trying to represent their clients. It's difficult for them to get in contact with their clients. And yeah, that's what David did. If he was being a leader inside the detention center, and even if he was in survival mode, like he said, he was still fighting with the community.
Yeah, that's amazing. Jessica, I want to ask you, just from a personal point of view, does working in the area that you're working with and hearing a lot of these heartbreaking stories on a daily basis, does it cause you to lose faith at all in the dignity and the justice that this country should be focused on? I mean, we are the United States of America, and we claim to stand for certain things. Does it cause you to question what this country is really about and whether we are living up to those ideals?
To be honest, it does. It does weigh on me. It does make me question what people really want, what they're voting for. If this is the America that I grew up in. You know, I was born and raised here by immigrant parents and was told from a young age that this country was created by immigrants for everyone. And so to hear such hateful language, such xenophobic attitudes, to see such xenophobic attitudes, it does make me it does weigh on me a lot, especially doing this work and seeing it every day. But what I also see is a community not taking this lying down. Yeah. They're getting trained, right? They're learning more about, okay, what are our rights? What are our rights, and how can we exercise them? How can we protect them? A couple of days ago, there was a phone call to our field organizer from a promotora telling him about the Supreme Court ruling from a promotora. You know, she was, that means that she was keeping up with the news. She knew the importance of this ruling. So these are the things that give me hope, because our community is getting educated on their rights, educated on what they can fight for, and I'm hoping that this means that not just our communities right here in LA, but other cities are doing the same, right? They're seeing what we're seeing and protecting themselves, and are going to help protect others too.
Well, I want to ask you both as we are closing out this conversation. For those who are listening to a conversation like this, or they're watching the headlines on a daily basis, and they're feeling maybe outraged and powerless at the same time, can you give them maybe a nugget? What is one thing that they can do to make a difference in their community right now?
Call your representative. Call your representative in support of pro-immigrant policies at your local, state, and national level. Calling even just one, it represents, 30 people, 300 people, some outrageous number, but they know that you're listening. They care about this because you vote for them. They're your representatives. They work for you. So if you care about this issue, call your representative. Aside from the general, like, make sure to volunteer, make sure to support nonprofits that are fighting for our rights, like the ACLU, Chirla, Carecen, us, all the other organizations. I think it's just about being, a good neighbor, a good community member.
Yeah. And Yessenia, what about you from your point of view? What's one really urgent thing or important thing that folks can do who feel outraged and powerless at the same time? Just what's a nugget of hope that we can hold on to?
I believe in unity. I think Latinos are called the sleeping giant, and I think once we awake, we are going to be stronger. But we have unity among all communities, all minorities. We have to. This is the time where we have to be united, where we have to be in solidarity with each other. We're not against each other. We have to be in solidarity. And I think that's one thing that I would say, to be in community, to be united, and to fight together.
Yeah. Well, can you all tell us how folks can get connected with COFEM, and if they want to be a part of the fight right alongside you? Can you tell them what your website is, give us your socials, and let us know how we can get connected with COFEM?
Yes, they can visit our website at www.cofem.org. COFEM spelled as COFEM. They can call us Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 at 213-417-8390. They can email us at admin@cofem.org, and on our social medias, they can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter as COFEM.
Well, thank you all so much. Once again, I want to thank Yessenia Cruz and Jessica Martinez of COFEM for being with us today and sharing these truths. Thank you all so much for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for inviting us.
Once again, I want to thank Yessenia Cruz and Jessica Martinez of COFEM for joining me and sharing these truths. What we've heard today is heartbreaking, but it's also a call to action. Families are being torn apart. Human dignity is being denied. And as a society, we can't afford to look away. If you're listening, ask yourself, what can I do? Maybe it's supporting a local immigrants' rights organization. Maybe it's pressing elected officials for accountability. Maybe it's just having the courage to talk about what's really happening. Because silence only allows injustice to grow. This has been Stronger Together, Voices United. I'm Dara Starr Tucker of Radio Free 102.3 FM, KJLH. Thank you for listening, and let's keep pushing for the kind of country that values every human life.